If you've ever hosted an event or thought about hosting one and worried that no one will show up, this video will save you a lot of stress, time, and money because most events don't fail because they're bad. They fail because they're marketed incorrectly. I've sold out music events, conferences, live experience across many different countries and cities. And what I'm about to share with you is the exact framework that I use every single time. So if you don't know me by now, my name's Adrian, and I've been working with clients to get them sold out events, no matter what type of events it is. It could be virtual events or it could be live events, in-person events. So this could be conferences, it can be product launch events, it could be holiday events, you name it, and I've done it. I also own Lelantis Records, which is a pretty big melodic house and techno label where we do events around the globe. All right, so I want to start with the biggest mistakes in event marketing. So the biggest mistake in event marketing is that most people start promoting their event after it's announced, and that's backwards. So I broke this down into 3 ways to help you not make this mistake. So the first way is no pre-attention. Basically, people like to see what's happening before the event. So they like to see behind the scenes, and it gives your event more meaning. So here are 3 examples of how you can show this in your messaging. So you could say, we're planning something big for this fall. I can't share the details yet, but it's been in the works for months. It's the kind of event I wish existed earlier in my career. Or if you're an artist trying to break through right now, you're going to want to pay attention to what we're building. Or we just landed the craziest location and headliner for our next event. Take a guess where and who it is. These kind of things give pre-attention to your event. Now, the next mistake is there's usually not a lot of story around it. So people don't buy flyers, they buy stories. So for example, Art Basel, if you want to understand where art is going, you need to be here. And then this is how Art Basel frames itself. It frames itself as a global cultural movement, a meeting point for artists, collectors, galleries across many cities, a signal of taste, relevance, and influence. Again, if you want to play on the big level, you have to get people to buy into your story. And then you have SXXW, which their thing is, this is where the future shows up early. So they're not just selling panels, they're selling what there is to come in the future. And this is the place to be to learn what that is. And then you have urgency. Most people do only 2 tickets left, when in reality, that's not true at all. Here are some ways that you can say this in a more realistic way. Now, you could say, we're keeping this event intentionally small. Once the room is full, that's it. No extra tickets, no extensions. Tickets are cheaper this week because we really want early supporters in the room. Prices go up on Friday. This is the first and last time this artist will play in this venue this year. Don't miss out on this one event. All saying the same exact thing. One is more realistic and believable. The other is not always true, and every single person is using this messaging to sell tickets. When you announce an event out of nowhere, people don't feel the urgency. They don't feel the excitement, and they definitely don't feel like they need to be there. You're basically saying, hey, this is my event, please come. And the internet doesn't work like that. So people haven't seen you talking about the event before and you go live, there's literally no anticipation. People like seeing things being built. They like the behind the scenes. It gives the event meaning before it even exists. And most events are marketed with flyers. So like a flyer, a date, a location, and a lineup. But people don't buy flyers, they buy stories. So why does this event exist? Why now? Why should I care? If there's no story, there's no emotional pull. And then you have urgency. And without pre-attention, story, urgency feels fake. So tickets on sale now doesn't mean anything if anyone or nobody was waiting for them in the first place. Look at Art Basel. Art Basel doesn't say, come look at art. Their story is, if you want to understand where art is going next, you need to be here. They framed the event as a global movement. Same thing with SXXW. They don't sell panels, they sell discovery. Their story is, this is where the future shows up early. Breakout artists, breakout startups, breakout ideas. Notice something important here. Neither of these events are selling schedules. They're selling meaning. That's the difference. So this brings me to the point of the event marketing framework that I use all the time. Sell the transformation, not the event. Content before tickets. Distribution over design. Social proof early and often. Real urgency, no BS. If you understand these 5 steps, selling tickets become dramatically easier. Let's break them down. Step 1, sell the transformation, not the event. Here's step number 1. So when someone buys a ticket, they're really buying access, connection, status, experience, and outcome. So make sure you're making a note of this because this is very important. Someone buys a ticket because of one of these 5 things, not just because you're selling tickets. There has to be a reason or motive or value for why someone will buy the ticket from you. So one of the main questions you should focus on answering is, what does someone gain that they can't get by staying home? If you can answer that question, it'll really help you market your event better. So remember, if you market this event, people compare prices. If you market the transformation, people justify the investment. And that's what you want, even if it's a party. If you market it correctly, people will see it as an investment versus compare price with every other party that's happening that same weekend. This is the most important step. People don't buy tickets. They buy what their life looked like after your event. Nobody wakes up excited about buying a wristband. They're excited about what the wristband gives them access to. So when someone buys a ticket, they're really buying access, connection, status, experience, outcome, and that's pretty much it. Most events are marketed like music conference panel, networking, and that tells me what it is, but why should I care? And here's the shift that I want you to get. Don't say music conference. Say leave with industry connections and clarity on your next move. Same event, completely different value. And here's the rule to remember. If you market an event, people compare prices. If you market a transformation, people justify the investment. And that's why Art Basel and SXXW works. They don't sell logistics, they sell identity and outcome. So step number 2, content before tickets. Step 2 is simple, but it's one of the most things that people skip. You should be creating content before your ticket goes live. If the first time people hear about your event is when you're asking them to buy, you're already too late. Content does 3 things before you ever sell it. It builds familiarity, it builds trust, and it builds anticipation. So when tickets finally drop, it doesn't feel like a cold pitch, it feels like the next logical thing. Now I want to share a couple of different examples of this. You can do behind the scenes content, why this event exists, the problem it's solving, decisions you're making, mistakes you've learned from, who this event is really for. And this is exactly what companies like Apple, Tesla, and a lot of startups do. When they're doing product launches, they get people to buy into their vision, their mission, their story by using content marketing. And you can do the same thing. People like to be involved and be a part of something bigger. And that's exactly what I do with my label events. We do events all over the world and we sell out all of our shows because we create stories and use content, show people the journey of how we've built and created this. We show people, we don't reveal everything right up front, but we tease people on how the venue is or the kind of lighting setups that we're having. And as a result, it gets people anticipated and wanting to be at the event. So if people feel like they helped build it, they'll show up to celebrate it. So you might ask me, what kind of content should you produce before the tickets go live? And I'm not talking about ads, I'm not talking about flyers, I'm talking about real content such as behind the scenes, why this event even exists, the problem it solves, decisions you're making, challenges you're going through right now. You're letting people watch it come to life. And this is exactly how startups sell out product launch events. Companies like Apple and Tesla, they don't say, come to our product launch. They share their journey. Months before the launch, they're actually talking about it. So they're talking about why this product exists, what problems they're obsessed with, what future they're building. So when the launch happens, people don't show up out of curiosity. They show up because of belief. Great startups don't launch products. They build community and invite them to witness the launch. Events work the same way. And here's the rule. People should feel like they're already part of the event before they even buy a ticket. Okay, step number 3 is distribution over design. And this is where people get mad at me because it's the truth. A beautiful flyer does not sell out events. Distribution does. You can have the best branding, the clearest visual, the nicest venue, and still have an empty room if no one sees it. Most people spend weeks tweaking logos, flyers, colors, then they post it once. That's not marketing, that's hoping. And here's the reality. If you post an event once, it doesn't exist. A lot of times the major issue is that you just aren't showing up enough. Post everywhere frequently. Do short form content, so Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You can also do long form content. You can do email blasts to your list. You can DM people, WhatsApp groups. You can also use paid ads on a small budget. And then there is Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Reddit groups, all these places where you can post and share content and build awareness for your event. So do not try to only focus on design, branding. All those are important, but it's not as important as getting visibility on the event. Design makes it look nice, but distribution fills the room. Here's some ways you can do this. This is a weekly post formula. You can do 2 to 3 short form videos. You can do context, show the journey. You can post a social proof post. You can do a long form video. You can do daily stories and post updates on what's happening with the event in your stories. And you can send 1 to 2 emails a week about what you're creating or what's happening. So here's a practical content strategy. So you have context content, why this event exists, what problems it's solving, journey content, behind the scenes content, planning content, venue walkthroughs, proof content, speakers, past attendance, momentum updates. One idea should turn into multiple pieces of content. Paid ads don't create demand. They scale what's already working. This is why testing different types of content is so important. Okay, so step number 4 is social proof. You want to get these early and as often as you can. So people don't ask, is this event good? They ask, are there people like me going? So social proof can be speaker or performance announcement, past attendee clips, testimonials or DMs, partner logos, venue photos, momentum signal count. So tickets already moving updates. So you could say like, hey, we've sold 500 tickets this week. So all these are social proof tactics. So you can use social proof in other places as well. So you can add social proof to your ticketing page or your ads, and you can sprinkle social proof in your stories as well as other people's stories. So like on LinkedIn, all these places, make sure people are seeing what other people are saying about you. So you don't need to be a celebrity. Social proof can be speakers, announcements, past attendee clips, testimonial, partner logos, venue photos, the amount of tickets sold. And here's the mistake. People wait until event is already sold out before they show social proof. And that's way too late. The moment a speaker says yes, that's content. The moment a headliner says yes, that's content. And the moment you lock in a venue, that's content. Use everything to help sell your tickets and get people to buy in. The moment tickets move, That's momentum. All right, now step number 5, real urgency. Urgency only works when it's real. Fake urgency kills trust. For example, don't say only 2 tickets left when it's not true, and don't say last chance every single week. Everyone does that and it's just old and boring. So real urgency comes from real constraints. So limited room capacity, tiered pricing, early bird deadlines, hard cutoff dates, speaker or experience caps. For example, you could say these in your copy, right? Tickets are cheaper this week because we want early supporters in the room. Price goes up on Friday. We're keeping this event small on purpose. Once the room is full, that's it. Tier 1 and Tier 2 tickets are sold out. We only have 1 tier left. Today is the last day to get your VIP table at X price. Tomorrow, they get more expensive. So these are all ways of doing urgencies without saying these 2 examples up here. If you can explain why there's a limit, people respect it. Urgency doesn't pressure people, it helps decisive people decide. Remember that. Okay, so now we get into paid ad strategy. Paid ads don't replace good event marketing, they amplify it. Different platforms play different roles. For example, Google search is high intent, but it's expensive. It converts well because people are already looking for what you have to offer. So think of ads like this: awareness platforms, which is for introducing the event, the intent platforms, which is for capturing demands, and then retargeting for closing the loop. So different platforms play different roles. And when I'm running ads, I'm using all the platforms in different ways. For example, I'm using YouTube and Meta for awareness. I'm doing Meta and TikTok for interest in decision making. And then I'm using Google search, LinkedIn ads, and Meta ads for action type content. So I know these are high intent places. So for example, I'm running a sales campaign. For the action level, I'm running ads on LinkedIn and Google search because these are high intent places. Now, meta ads are really emotional and visual. So it's great for momentum and retargeting. Now, TikTok ads is good for discovery. Events feel alive there, feels fun there. And YouTube ads are good for branding and authority building. I mainly use YouTube ads for awareness, but that's another story. And then you have LinkedIn ads. And LinkedIn ads are really expensive, but they're powerful for business, tech, or professional events. Think of it like this. Awareness warms people up, search captures intent, retargeting closes, ads don't sell events, system do. All right, so let's quickly recap. Here's the entire framework again. Sell the transformation, create content before tickets, focus on distribution, show social proof early, use real urgency, and that's pretty much it. That's the system I use to sell out a lot of events. Most events don't fail because they're bad. They fail because nobody consistently told the story. If you're hosting an event and you apply this framework, you'll immediately see a difference. Now, if this helped, subscribe to my channel. I break down stuff like this all the time. And if you're building something meaningful, this system will really work. And if you found value from this video, I have tons of videos just like this, and you'll see it right here. And I'll see you in the next video.